Hey all, Ryan here from Planetary Lapidary, and welcome to another episode of Slabbin Sundays, where I take rocks and fossils I find on the western shore of Lake Michigan, cut them into slabs so I can use those slabs to make stuff. So this week, the first one we got is this, which I believe is probably just a quartzite, but it's got all these yellow lines running through it. It kind of reminded me of like a banded iron. I think it is just a quartzite though, but I want to try to get a couple slabs off of it this way and just see what's inside of there. See if any of those yellow stripes come through. Should be really cool if they do. Then the second one we got is this banded iron. I don't find a ton of this, like very little of it actually. And this piece was kind of just a weird shape. It's got some decent layering, but I'm not, it doesn't have that like characteristic really red layers, maybe on the bottom right here. But what I want to do is I want to get some slabs this way. So I want to go the short way and just try to get as many slabs as I can to see if I can get a cool inside in there. So we're going to use the high-tech 10-inch slab saw with a thin centered blade. So let's get set up and we'll get slabbing. Okay, through that first one, so I did have a little piece chip off. That must be like mudstone in there for sure, or siltstone in between. So hopefully there's some cool layers or something in there. I didn't even get a peek, so let's see. Oh, look at that. That's unbelievable right there. I'm not sure if that's just all pockets of mudstone. There's definitely some jasper in there. That yellow maybe, and the red streak down the middle. I'm not sure what that is either right there. Really, really cool though. That's just the end, but I'll definitely get something out of that. That's awesome. All right, so first slab. This is the one that chipped off a bit on the end there. Oh yeah, definitely siltstone or mudstone. Look at that. Whoa. Woo. Look at those patterns in there though. That is sweet. And look at how it looks like brecciated in the blue there from all the veins going through it. Wow. That's awesome. Here's the other side. Woo. That yellow, just the streaks in that blue are just awesome. So I'm definitely going to be able to get something sweet out of that. So that's the first slab. And here's the second one. Oh, same thing. Look at that. That is really, really cool. I'm not sure what that bright material is in there either. It's got a nice little thin one. There's the first fracture I kind of saw, but just look at the patterning on that. That's so crazy. All the layers. And here's the end. Yeah, I might have to actually do something with this end too, just because it's so cool. And you got kind of like a gold material right there in the middle too. Awesome. So definitely 1 for 1. Let's get on to that banded iron. Okay, so here's that banded iron. I was able to get 3 slabs out of it, so that's good. So let's see on the end here. Ooh, look at that. That's cool how those bands go through the middle. I don't really see any iron really, or like a hematite in there. Maybe that black streak, that black like wave on the top, but so maybe this is just a jasper and it just had some hematite out on the outside of it, but this is just the end. So let's see, this is the first slab. Really cool though, like look at that darker up there and the lines. And then even that material in between is really, really cool. So those are gonna make some cool cabochons too. Here's the other side. Yeah, that's really cool how that cuts in like that. So that's a cool one. That's the first slab. Here's second. yeah, it's just a really cool contrast, that gray and then that orangey brownish color. Not too much super red like you'd usually see in a banded iron, but it's a little bit red. It's really cool. That black there, that's awesome. All right, so then the third slab. Oh, that one's got kind of a little pit in it. Kind of goes through, but there's maybe a chunk of, or some hematite around that little pocket. Hard to tell though, but still really, really cool. You can see that it's banded iron just from, you know, all the iron staining maybe. You can, like the water from on the saws always turns really brown or really reddish brown. So definitely I think it is, but maybe just not a super high content of metallic-y stuff. Really cool though, that's the end. Yeah, so definitely a win. Got some nice little slabs. I'll be able to make something out of those for sure. Maybe not this one because of that little guy, but might be a little character. But definitely 2 for 2. So if you like this video, leave a like, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned for some close-ups at the end, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.